see Nuke from E United more so than Cloud9, because when we actually watched E United yesterday and they had that pocket pick of Vertigo, they actually looked really good. They had like rotations held. They seemed to have a lot of decent strategies. And starting off on the T side is going to be very important that they do have some set strats. And well, they're going to be looking to try and find some holes within this brand new defense that is Cloud9.
Well, it looks like the Betway odds are in favor, at least of my choice of Cloud9 in terms of the matchup. Then again, yesterday with Complexity, it wasn't in my favor. I had to think about it for a second just to make sure. The Freakazoid's actually been able to get some control towards ramp. The first kill has gone the way, though, of the CT side of Cloud9. Mixwell, the thing was, Mixwell had a very slow start in their match. But as time went on, he started to really show up, and he really put the pressure to Shazam, which I'd like to see. Mixwell with a little bit of HP left, able to get another kill onto Freakazoid. And Food, well, he's shown up.
Yeah, nice start. Still, the CT side have the man advantage for now. Automatic tagged low on HP at least, but it's kind of a weird scenario. Like, the bomb's still up the top in the hands of Vanity. I almost wonder if the T's are going to try and double back up the ladder, because otherwise I don't actually know how they're going to win this round. Like, it just seems so peculiar to have him this far back with the bomb. Like, I'm not really sure what the strategy is here. If they get the kill onto Kusta, I'm not really sure how that helps. Unless they're trying to go for a super elaborate rotation strat where they sort of get or pretend to get the bomb down on the other side of the map, which, hey, that would be super peculiar. And at the moment, at least, it doesn't seem to have worked. Like, the rotation has not been baited away. Sure, there's one or two players actually making the move, but there's still one by the vents, and in fact there's one around heaven. They do go back up the ladder though. That's so important, and well, with 10 seconds left, they're just about going to be able to get that bomb down. Daps has made his rotation back around, and up the ladder comes Automatic. He shouldn't be able to do anything here, but it looked like Food was reloading. However, he still manages that frag, and well, although Daps has a kit and a smoke, I fear getting back into this round is going to be very difficult. He almost needs a mistake to come out, and a dual peek from E United will net them the first round. A little bit too close for comfort, Jason, but they do get it done.
I think that all came down to Kusta actually falling inside. Well done by United, especially the way they collapsed onto 10s on the upper site. The fact that it was not clear, but they come out the vents, they come out at the same time to catch him off, and well done by United to start things off strong. Seeing Mixwell with the SMG. And aside for United, they do have the SG Mac-10. They have pretty decent kit to actually take this lower bomb site. Some good presence out of Cloud9 with the smokes to actually help deter any sort of aggression. We'll buy them some time for now. I mean, I agree with, I think, the majority of the points that the entire desk was making. I mean, I think in particular talking about how United has been a team longer together, and Cloud9 still trying to figure out their own identity. But for some reason, I just have the faith in Daps that after the match yesterday, after the loss, he was able to just think things over, work with his team to help improve. They had time, obviously, before they came into today to play their match. But United are still a force that you can't sleep on. 50 seconds left. Eventually, you're going to have to make their move.
Big swap. At least in a decent position here. It's looking like they're going to try and overwhelm him, but he's just going to double back to the site, and Automatic is going to be ready and raring to go, but Freakazoid, I don't even think they know where that kill came in from. Just looking around behind them, they have at least got some decent presence. I don't know if he will expect this many people to be here. Marky is going to get the opener, and they know where Kusta is now. He's retrieved himself a lovely Mac-10, but definitely not the ideal weapon to have in this scenario, and the rotation of Daps has been caught in the meantime. Kusta still trying to hide in the smoke, and, well, Cooper's just waiting. The second this smoke fades, is going to be dead, and while Marky at least does net Kusta an extra $600, which is something at least, but 10s, well, we need to see a change from him. He tweeted yesterday that well, I think he said something along the line like, I suck, or something like that. Really was not happy with his performance. Obviously got a lot of wonderful and a few not so wonderful comments from the community.
Which one did you send him?
Which, I didn't send him any comments. I was just reading them. I was sat there in the back lines. But, yeah, so clearly feeling the pressure at the moment, I think, within this Cloud9 roster. And I'm hoping he has a good performance today. Although I did predict against them, so you can tell what you like.
Are you really hoping for him to have a good performance now, Tom?
I always want the younger talent, especially within Counter-Strike, to do well, because it's always sad when you see someone brought into like these top teams and they never quite meet the potential. at the same time, if they lost, hey, it would at least catch me up to you on wins.
I mean, we'd be pretty much just dead even on the desk again.
Yep.
I think we're going to be basically dead even at this rate if that does happen up until Group D, because Group C is looking very one-sided when it comes to Team Liquid and Renegades.
Well, this round at least, a quick bomb plant available for United, a chance to just build up some extra money. They lost a few players in the last round and don't really want that to be happening again. Kusta with the extra money could actually drop an AWP over to Mixwell in the next round, which always going to be important. And hey, Daps has managed to get himself an extra kill. The one thing that is quite interesting to me though is if you look at like the E United versus EG match from yesterday, we've got a completely different map pool today. So of course we got the Vertigo pick coming out from E United, which they weren't given the option to. Then Inferno came out and Dust 2, but we've completely gone the opposite way. So if you did want to learn more about E United as a team, you may get 6 of the 7 maps actually shown from them within the first couple of days.
Well, I mean, with Overpass being the 3rd map, we obviously got to see them in New York play against Liquid, where they actually almost took the map, and Freakazoid was top fragging against them.
Well, that was sort of, when we spoke to Freakazoid yesterday, I said during the veto, I was like, well, you knew that EG was going to either ban Overpass or Vertigo. So I'm guessing your thoughts on it was let's practice Vertigo so that if they do pick that, you can pick the other. And he was like, yeah, no, we would have picked Overpass if they'd banned Vertigo out. So they definitely seem prepared for that veto. The interesting thing for me here is the pick of Nuke, but I'm guessing that's a similar sort of scenario, like a map that they're happy to play and a map that Cloud9, well, it's less likely to be one of the first maps you practice with a new team. Mixwell, however, small gap in that smoke is enough to actually get him that initial frag, and well, definitely not the start that E United were hoping for at the beginning of this map.
Yeah, you can't have mistakes like that happen. Luckily, they do get by, though, just slightly, even though Freakazoid did die. It did send 2 players across. And Mixwell did miss out on his first shot. Gonna be holding towards a ramp now. United looking to take this lower site. It's only going to be Kusta to defend, so as long as they can get this 1 kill, they're going to have a relatively easy plant. And Kusta's been spotted out. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. He's got to fight this, and he's just not able to quite hit the shots. The Gushas have landed, and Marky again. Man, that I was looking at to step up a 2nd time for United like they did yesterday. But Mixwell will respond, keep the man advantage back in Cloud9's favor.
Not for long.
Yeah.
Food chomps down at him from behind and leaves just 3 players remaining.
Bomb has been planted.
Fairly fast rotation coming out, automatic. Yet to get on the board, 10-0 ADR. I don't think that's something I've seen in a long time. This is a real worry, and Marky just going ham once again. I think if you are looking for Cloud9 to take the victory in this map, that's not something you want to see, as he was a standout player for them yesterday. The problem of E United already getting 4 rounds on the T side, we've mentioned momentum before, but getting that first buy round when you're on T side nuke is so important. You deny any real economy for the CTs early on. It's normally the case where you really build your own, because you sometimes play a bit of a bonus round and maybe have a weapon or 2 missing. And then you get to obviously just have this next round, which, okay, sure, there is a couple of pistols alongside the AWP, but realistically, this should be another round for them. So this is a great chance for them to go 5-0 up on what is one of the tougher T-sides in the game at the moment.
Well, I think the most important part we saw in the pistol round and just the last round for United success was they were able to fight and win the round while being down a man. They did a great job there, able to equalize well. We saw Mixwell to get a kill on the cross on a Freakazoid. And seeing a team be able to do that on T side of Nuke to win these rounds so consistently for United so far is a very difficult feat. Now, whether that says they're playing well or Cloud9 or having some mistakes is, I think, yet to be decided. But they've invested into Mixwell to have the SOP by giving it over from the last round, as Tens did save it. And they're hoping he could do something with it, and like you already mentioned, he's been able to do that yesterday. And today's a new day, and 50 seconds left. United just taking their time, trying to secure that 5th round.
Oh, a little bit worrying there, but Mixwell is going to miss the shot, and now they're going to utilize the secret control. Mixwell a little bit late. There is a gap in that smoke, but well, I think that was the last man. Not really too much of a reason for Food to fight this, but he's trying to hold off any rotations, and with Automatic going down, he was the only man on the lower bomb site. So this will be another fairly simplistic round. My only worry is Freakazoid lurking. Now he does get the kill. Important he does, and I suppose for Mixwell it's not so much of a worry, because if the kill comes in from Kusta, they can save 2 guns. They can keep the SG, which we already know is a menace on the other side of the map, and then things get a bit worrying. But because it's Mixwell to get the kill, it doesn't really matter. He's already got an AWP, just gonna be trying to hide in the corner. Now, considering this is where his teammate just was, I think that's the line of thinking he has is, well, they've cleared this and killed someone once. Why would they clear this again? And so it's not a bad hiding place. The only thing is that was Freakazoid and the rest of the team. I don't know, playing it fairly safe. They do have a lot of money. Like, they're going to have, like, close to, or some of them will have more than $10,000 going into the next round. So you might as well try and get rid of this AWP. It will be bought back up no matter what from Cloud9, because they have the maximum loss bonus now. But even still, I think the last man you want to have extra money in the bank for later is Mixwell.
Cloud9 going to take some time to talk some things over, and considering it's 5-0 on Nuke against them when they're on the CT side, I think that's a smart call. But here we go, buying back up into this. I fear if they lose this round, but United could just continue to go on a massive spree.
The worry is we have seen Cloud9 actually play this map fairly recently, the beginning of the month, and it was versus Sharks. They lost it 16-9, only managed 2 rounds on the T side, so definitely not a map that they're too well versed in thus far. We'll see whether or not they can get off to a start now, and I think they're going to need a decent amount of CT side rounds. It's the map where, as I said, it's pretty difficult on the T side, and although they do have a strong caller in the form of Daps, it's still a team where they've admitted they're still trying to work out where their map pool is, where their home map's going to be. Doesn't seem to be set in stone. They looked good on Overpass yesterday, and Automatic finally gets onto the board, and an important kill at that. Sneaking his way through. They've already doubled up on the lower bomb site as well, sending 2 players in that direction. The AWP of Mixwell joins Kusta, but Automatic going back for a little bit more. It's going to be caught out by Marky. He's off to a flyer again, 8-1. The only real worry is there's only 35 seconds on the clock, and there's still a lot of places they need to clear.
Well, Freak's going to be spotted towards lower, but the distraction he's pulling off might actually work out really well for them. Players on the upper bomb side have yet to move. Daps, so he's lurking off to the side. 10's trying to help out, trying to assist with the help of the flashbang. He's going to peek out and get the kill on the Food. The bomb's now going to be down. Cooper will fall to Mixwell inside the vents. And there we go, Cloud9, they finally take their first round, an important one for them. As you mentioned before, Tom, United had so much money in the bank. Cloud9 have quite a few rounds to eat away at before they can have a freebie.
Yeah, the thing that's quite tilting in that round as well is they go into that late round take, I think, with 3 Molotovs on 4 players. So why not Molotov where Daps is? At least clear out one of those angles. Obviously, in hindsight, we know he's there. But if you throw that Molotov out, you can now like easily get a kill, and it's even if he's not there, it's an angle you don't have to check. Instead, he has a very easy kill, calls for rotations, and then TenZ doesn't even really have to do anything. So I'm a bit disappointed with the United, considering on Vertigo how good their utility usage was, that they go into a round like that and don't use their nades.
The only, I guess, excuse I'd give them is the fact that TenZ threw a flash, like, pretty close to where Daps was. I mean, I 100% agree with you, like, they should throw a Molotov there when you have so many, but it was kind of similar to what we saw with Fallen on Train, throwing a smoke in towards ladder room to make you think that there's not going to be anyone in that vicinity, and then his teammate just peeks out and pops ahead right away, just trying into a 2-on-1. But obviously, you don't know what was going on within the team and that decision. Don't worry, Tom, I still agree with you. I was just thinking maybe that's why they didn't go for that clear. But anyways, still looking relatively good, even though that one mistake did happen. Mixwell, we already mentioned Marky having a phenomenal game. Mixwell's 6-3.
Well, This could be a bit of a problem, though. They're already looking to try and wrap around. A good start. And actually, the CT side, they double up. But Marky once again, this time going to be the third man into the site. TenZ left somewhat on his lonesome. Trying to hold on. He will get one, but the trade is available, and there's nobody there to really stop the remaining two players. A second Molotov goes down to deny Kusta any further presence before the bomb goes down. Molotov in an attempt to try and hold back Mixwell, but he switched up to the rifle. Looks like he's going to pop himself through his own smoke. Not going to see anything on the other side. In fact, Food's gone back through. He's now hiding in the position Mixwell was in just moments ago. Cooper trying to hold on to the cross, but surely they're not going to expect this position. And while Food, he's in such a good spot for the bomb, they're actually just trying to bait this in because there's no way they expect this. Taps one out, even delays a little bit so that the bomb is just that ticked just a little bit further. Food has played this masterfully well, and that's going to be another round on the board. That is a small detail which I absolutely love from him. Like, he could have had that kill 2-3 seconds before, but he waits, lets them get close to the end of the defuse, wastes a bit more time, and then there's no way from that point that he loses the round.
Well, 6-1. You actually talked about yesterday how if Freakazoid was next to you, you'd have the confidence to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, he's still that smiley man we saw yesterday. You know, it seems like the air freshers they brought with them has fixed any problems.
They
with
got a
the
little
team.
plug-in.
Yeah.
Plug-in just so every few minutes.
They gave the coach a spray to use.
Or could Marky, I think he might have spotted it just a split second too late. He does know that Mixwell's around this area, but Mixwell, given even a second, is going to get that opener once again. He's been doing this throughout the map, to be fair to him. However, it seems like E United are actually very good at fighting back in these rounds. Kustava doubles it up. This should now be a position that E United can't come back from. However, just seeing how a lot of these rounds have gone, I'm not going to count them out just yet.
No. Mentioned before, they've been able to still somehow take rounds back, even though they were down a man or two. And down to Vanity. Okay, yeah, 2v5. This could be a little bit more difficult. Flashbangs come through. TenZ got to assist on top of Hut, and that will be a trade landing, but Freakazoid eventually going to fall.
Yeah, understandable. They're in a position where they don't really need to. A bit of damage in this round would be nice. Just make sure to keep the economy honest. But already 6 rounds on the T side for them. Of course, they're not going to be content with that, especially when there's still 6 rounds left to play. Vanity, I don't really know how he manages to get that far, in all honesty, but it doesn't have any real impact. Does give some space to the rest of the team, acting as a bit of a distraction. Automatic has had a very slow start to this game. This could be confidence building round, as there's still a lot of players with, well, next to nothing. A couple of Deagles. Freakazoid opting for a CZ and a little bit of armor. Food has also got off to a pretty impressive start, and there shouldn't be a way he gets daps here. There should be someone already watching these angles to make sure he can't. And actually, the smoke is going to land right on him so that any angle that he had is somewhat diminished. Still plenty of time on the clock for United to make any sort of move without a control somewhat under their belt. And Automatic just about going to get away with that one. Still fairly low on health, even gets the kill onto Cooper. And while Freakazoid just hoping for a bit of damage, but nothing to be achieved. Good work from Cloud9. They keep that one nice and clean. Not going to lose any players, and could finally start to build into this CT side, because that's been the problem so far. They've had like a round or two, but it's not really been anywhere they've made a lot of cash and have secured these rounds cleanly.
Yeah, you can see. At least Automatic's on 7,500. So they at least have that going for them. But United have thrown basically everything in the kitchen sink, except Bandy was still 600 remaining. But he's on the ump only. Fast play to come through. Automatic just spamming through that flashbang. Takes down Freakazoid, who's, unfortunately for him, one of the first ones to die in quite a few rounds. But that rush, that push coming through was a little bit unsuccessful, and Automatic will fall, but he did a decent amount of damage to Cooper. And I like how they're keeping Mixwell rotating around. He was on the outside before, now to ramp. Keep United guessing and not allow them to take advantage of the way he's been playing a static spot if he was going that way.
Oh, Cooper, who's already low on HP, just rounds the corner and catches out TenZ' aggressive position. I did not expect him to be able to win that duel. Smoke now going to be thrown out. I think Daps is wary they're just going to make a play off of this, but it's actually fairly patient from the T side. Don't want to overface here. Kusta with an important double. He sneaks his way into the lobby, comes in behind them and gives them back a huge advantage in this round. Mixwell, of course, is going to find a pick, and now Marky. Wow, 30 seconds. There shouldn't be any way he's able to get back into this round. Maybe can get Daps, but other than that, shouldn't be anything more. 19 HP. So little time left on the clock already. Well, Mixwell's actually not holding the cross, so there's the possibility of a bomb plant. I think he's aware that there's a player behind.
He forgot the bomb.
Did he? Yeah, I think he thought he got it. It definitely looked like he was trying to plant the bomb B. It would have been an absolutely genius play. Unfortunately, he forgot the integral part. I feel that's like you know when you're making dinner at home and you remember all the small ingredients that you need to put in it, and then you go,
I don't have any dishware.
Okay, I was going to say like pasta for like a pasta dish, but you know, that works too. I've got no plates, so I have to eat out of my hands.
I don't have a kitchen. It's fair to Cloud9 considering how this series started, this map started. They've done a good job of actually getting close to equalizing. We see Marky retaining the SG from the last round. He was, I find it hard to think of words of how well he was playing yesterday in their match.
Mind-boggling.
Yes, let's go with that one. That's perfect. Ooh, that nade was perfect. That was about 200 damage in total. So going to push directly in towards Kusta, and well, Kusta should have a relatively easy time with just the Glock. So he takes down Vanity. Mixwell's there to back him up. Cooper picks up the SG. I think them trying to focus on getting a couple of kills to make it costly would be ideal. But taking the round seems to be a little bit too far out of their grasp.
Yeah, this should be impossible. Of course, the brothers can just communicate using telepathy at this point. Seems like Freakazoid's literally like a bull in a china shop, just trying to make as much noise as humanly possible and maybe act as a bit of a distraction for his brother. Well, Cooper actually is going to net. And a second as well, okay. That's made things a little bit interesting. Now the rotation is going to be so fast from TenZ. There should be no way that he gets away with anything here, although he has been spotted out. He needs to realize that there's somebody coming from above, and he has spotted out Mixwell. That's at least information. Mixwell trying to bait out the shot while TenZ gains a little bit of ground. There should be no way, and TenZ is going to close out the round. But even still, 3 kills for Cooper. He gets a bomb plant, which I don't think either of us expected when they got onto that ramp position. And they make things costly. The only problem is it's been a few rounds in a row now for Cloud9. And okay, sure, losing those players is not ideal, but their money's fine.
Yeah, you can see 6K on Mixwell, 4K on TenZ, and
like for example, earlier we had a great way of Complexity showing that you can still come back from that when they were, what was it, like 7-1 up or 7-0 up and then end up with an 8-7 half, and they still managed to go on and win. But it is very difficult when you do so well at the beginning and then after that nothing works. You sort of still go into that second half with a little bit of disappointment, I suppose, with how you perform for the rest of it. Whereas if they get to, say, 7 or 8 rounds at least, they're going to be looking going, okay, well, yeah, we struggled a bit, but we still managed to scrape out a couple of rounds and we've ended up with a very good half. So we'll see. We'll see what United can do for the remainder. Of course, for Cloud9's perspective, this is where they go, okay, let's just streak together the rest, make sure this is a 9-6. That's not a bad half overall. It's not perfect, but it will do. And then we win the pistol, and hey, this isn't still a relatively easy map. Automatic. Definitely coming into his own over the last few rounds. He had a very quiet start. Seemed like that flashbang actually stopped Food from getting that kill. They have rotated. There's nobody on the lower bomb site at the moment. I expect the rotation to come in eventually. They have got players near the ramp, and so you can see Kusta sort of switching between the two. He's got to be careful though. Spots the door. It seemed like that was almost a little bit of a bait play to try and get him to look in the other direction. Instead, he has a good chance, and he continues here with a second kill for him. Marky a little bit late to the party, but they actually managed to get the bomb back on A.
Daft's gonna peek out. He's gonna fall to Marky. He's looking for potentially his third kill. Mixwell will be there, and Mixwell is so fast. Not fast enough to take down Vandy. 8 seconds left. He's gonna have to stick this and try to bait them in. They can just back off now after automatic checks it. But he's gonna get the kill either way. 6-6 all tied up.
Either way, fast play. Kusta been very good at holding onto the ramp. I think he's been one of the better players for Cloud9 so far. Him and Mixwell have been the players to watch, although there's been a few rounds where Mixwell has been sort of avoided. Like, they just haven't had to face off against him because he's playing on the upper bomb site. And it does seem like United are much more comfortable trying to pressure onto B. At least in these last few rounds, that's been the main goal. But Kusta has been able to fall back. Mixwell, all he really needs to do here is get 1 kill as they cross, although the majority of players have already made their way forward. I think, again, they're going to be fairly reliant on Kusta here to do a lot of damage. Luckily, the weapon he has is pretty much perfect for the scenario.
Well, it comes down to hitting the shots, and there he goes. Next, the first and the second as well. Looking for number 3 as Mark is taken very low in HP. Eventually, he will be burned up, but not before he gets one more. Kusta, you talked about him stepping up. He gets himself a quad kill in this round. Yeah, I think that should have solidified the round victory here for Cloud9 and the lead, more importantly. Advantage just going to save the weapon. See, well, you know, just with pistols trying to force up into this round. Automatic, like you said, coming into his zone. He's actually been playing really well on the outside. It's been him and Mixwell switching things up. And I feel like Automatic's been able to get at least a minimum of 1 in a majority of the rounds now. When he's had the intention and the opportunity. Just imagine, Tom, like a 9-6 scoreline for Cloud9 after a 5-0 start for United.
Yeah, that's going to be tough mentally for United, especially. And especially when you consider there's been a few situations that they definitely could have won, like some clutch plays or some minor mistakes or like not using utility, which is something we really gave them props for yesterday in their match versus Evil Geniuses. So Freakazoid, no real chance there. Walking into a crossfire, and that will be an 8th. The half one for Cloud9, a fantastic resurgence from what was the early round play. I'd actually like to see how the United are actually doing at the moment. Like, are they still in high spirits? Are they propping each other up? It's not the sort of vision you want to see. Like, that's the opposite of yesterday. But there we go. T-side looking for some out of control automatic.
Oh my god.
This could be perfect. He's just got to be careful. He's walked past Marky. That will be the pick. And again, it seems like there was a gap in the smoke because Mixwell's been able to capitalize. Automatic even looking to try and come in from behind. In fact, he's just going to lock them in. Throw the smoke down. Or Food walking into Daps. That's actually managed to get an opener. Not quite able to do anything more onto Automatic, so we'll keep the 2-man advantage going. Cooper just waiting patiently for that smoke to fade, but a lot of time wasted. Not really much gained. Just hoping that there was still someone on the outside to give him an avenue in. But the problem is now is they just don't have enough control to really do anything. Like, get onto this B site. You've not got ramp, which is where Kusta's currently sitting, and they really don't want to be facing off against him. Then the rest of the team will be able to rotate fairly quickly because they have the vents covered off. And oh, this is going to have to be a pretty impressive display. Lots of damage done, though. Freakazoid getting up close. He makes a little bit of sound. It doesn't seem like Kusta heard it, though. And now it's Mixwell just around the corner. It needs to be a kill, and he'll find it. Wins them the round. The battle between Automatic and Cooper was swift. And that's going to be a fantastic comeback in this half. Cloud9, 9-6 half after, what was it, like 6-2 down or something? Even 5-0.
Yeah, 5-0, then they finally got their first round. But they bounced back more importantly, and Cloud9 looking like a slightly different team from what we saw yesterday. We have to remember this is E United's pick, and well, Cloud9 have come out ahead, at least at the end of the first. But swapping over the T side is where things are to get tough for the Cloud9 boys. We'll see how it's going to go after a break. Thank you to everyone for sticking around as we hit our final match of the day. Nuke, a map that United has picked, and they fared pretty well, at least in the get-go on the T side. But they did finish off with only 6 rounds, but they swap onto the CT side. This is where they can really start to get the steam going. They can potentially pick up this first map and then head over to Mirage as our second. Of course, we still have Overpass as a third map if we do get to it. But Tom, I mean, well, we saw Automatic start to show up. Mixwell was hitting some crazy shots. And Marky's kind of slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely seems like their entries weren't quite there for the last few rounds and unable to really get too much done whatsoever. And I wonder if they had been a little bit bogged down. It looked like they were fairly quiet when going over to their player cams, but we'll see if they can turn that round to pistol. Already Vanity going to be dinked up. Can't really afford to fight this anymore. And Kusta looking to actually lead the way with the bomb. Instead, it's going to be Mixwell going in. He's got the mini raid boss. Some utility is expended, but this seems like it's more of a ruse onto that A site, just trying to keep some of the players there, as already the rotation has come all the way in. The bomb is going to be planted on the B site, and although Marky has killed off Automatic, Dap still remains.
Tenz is able to get one as they've rushed down through the vents. Dap's going to pick up the pace to go for the flank towards Secret. Look what's going to happen here. He's actually going to flank around pretty much every single man on the CT side. He's going to get the first and eventually have to turn around to deal with him. And now Mixwell puts him to the door at the same time. Marky will kill him, but Daps going to be there. And Daps will be alone in a 1-on-2 kit in the hands of Freakazoid. And he's just sticking it. Daps isn't even checking. And that'll be the bomb defused and United taking a pistol round.
Daps making a little bit of extra money could make all the difference here, as there's going to be temptations to invest into the SGs, and I don't really blame them. This map has strong outside battles that can definitely favor that SG if you get it early into the rounds. And even if you go in with, say, some SMGs and a lot of utility, you really can opt to try and dominate that upper bomb site. So I'll be interested to see what Cloud9 do. They are, of course, going to go for the SGs. No surprises there. Give the 2 top fraggers within their team the weapons, which is going to be Automatic and Mix, although you could have argued for Booster as well. He's actually going to be the one to take the hit. Look at this, though, a lobby rush. This is not something you see much in Counter-Strike anymore, because it is so ludicrously aggressive, but they managed to remove one of the rifles already, and the bomb's still left outside.
Cloud9 had the opportunity to just grab that and rush down towards lower if they could have. But you can see with the placing of the bomb, they weren't expecting that rush to come through. I mean, the fact they got the kills, we can tell they weren't expecting it. Oh, Cooper, 2 HP. Daps, even looking back towards CT spawn, I was so surprised by it, I couldn't even get the words out. Expecting United to maybe have a player there, but he's been able to get up towards Heaven. Freakazoid, I don't know if he's actually expecting 2 players are going to be here. And this is going to be tough. You can see the CT side not expecting anyone to make their presence to be known in towards Heaven. The Freak will be on the quick rotate. Actually, well, it looks like they are expecting, because the Molotov comes through and it forces them back.
Yeah, I think it's just the amount of map control that's currently there for the CT side. With Lobby there already, it's going to make things very difficult, although he still doesn't expect it. Even once the nade comes in, that's going to be the SG back into the hands of the T side. They've got both of them now. Kusta, however, doesn't have any armor, and the main problem is the time. There's only 20 seconds left on the clock. They're going to go running onto this B site. The rotation's going to be a little bit further behind from the CT side. I think they still think it's going to be A, but they're finally going to make the realization that they've got to go back in towards this lower bomb site. Spam through isn't going to net anything. They do have a kill onto Vanity. Kusta's definitely going to have heard the players dropping down, and a bit of an off angle, something that was used a lot initially within this map when there was a ladder on the little silo. Instead, Kusta so well paced already. Daps in a decent crossfire with him. I don't think they're going to expect him to be up the top. They finally spotted him out. Vanity missed the shot, and Kusta gets all 3. What a big clutch play coming out from him. A fantastic map overall, and as you can see, he's ecstatic. Food in a good position to do some damage with the CZ. Actually managed 1. Does a bit of damage onto Tenz, but the trades come in thick and fast. Vanity is still able to quickly rotate. Did Marquis just try and bait his rotation to B? This could actually be a smart play. He's still within this site. Instead, it's Cooper to actually rotate just to check the lower bomb site, but will Marquis move in that direction as well? No, instead, he's going to take the high ground. It seems like they've at least got the right read here about where their opponent's going. Daps on the wraparound is going to be the hardest to deal with, though. And I think he's just been spotted out, but it's too little too late. Vanity with way too much to do here can't connect the final shots. The only real worry for them is that they're so low, and somehow Cooper managed to sneak onto Mixwell. I'm sure he's not too happy about going down there, but it doesn't matter in the end.
Well, here we go. Now it's United going to be on just the USPs and a flash for Vanity, trying to, I guess, catch him on the outside. But I don't know how well this is going to work out considering what weapons and what players are currently out here. And Freakazoid's out.
Okay.
Nice spot coming through, though. They get one kill, Daps. They get another. Unfortunately, one of them was onto their own teammate. So they're making it costly for Cloud9. It's not like C9 have a ton of money to use. There you go.
Clean.
That's actually, we talked about TenZ quite a bit yesterday, and we talked about it a little bit today, but he's not really had the, unfortunately, greatest performance so far in the match. I wonder what it will take for Daps to kind of figure out, you know, like what they need to do to allow him to be the playmaker that we know he can be. And I think that's kind of the problem that Daps is going to have with the team. It's not a core that's kind of played together for a while. He said this before. It's just kind of them coming together and having to figure everything out brand new.
Well, I think this is where you can see the polar differences between Cloud9 and Complexity, and that is Complexity have, I want to say, obvious support players. Like, Def is definitely one that's put in as a role player. Like, he is someone who is going to be, like, flashing for people and still has high impact, but he's not meant to be the star. Even Shazam, a lot of the time,
Yeah, I was gonna
he's
say.
been setting players up, giving Obo the chance to be more of a star. Whereas Cloud9 almost gives me the sort of like idea of too many cooks. Like there's so many people who could be the out-and-out star within this team, which sometimes is a blessing. Like you look at Evil Geniuses and you say, yeah, they're literally any player can play any role, which is great in some circumstances. But at the same time, at the beginning of a team, if you do have a young player within that roster, it's very easy when you're in a team full of big personalities to become one that doesn't really have the impact you might desire.
This push there, Freakazoid being completely blocked out this entire fight. Not even getting killed, but he's done a ton of damage. And Marky able to help capitalize off of that. Gets himself a quick 2. Kusta again. Gets a 2 for himself and was able to lock this round down. And Vanity now alone against 3. Let's save the weapon at this rate. Well, Vanity able to play with the gaps in the smoke that actually punished them quite heavily on the outside on the T half. Was able to get 1. By the way, I think that's actually one of the exciting prospects about Cloud9 is that give it some time. You know, give Daps the ability to test out players in different positions and see what's going to happen. Because I think the sky could potentially be the limit for Cloud9. Freakazoid, though, well, death will be his limit in this round. And it looks like Cloud9 able to turn it back to a 4-on-4 and get full control of the lower bomb site.
Yeah, what we've seen so far, it seems like that streak of rounds from Cloud9 has definitely stumped the United. They're definitely a lot quieter, even within and outside of the game. More TenZ still able to ping a headshot or two. At least in this map, he hasn't really needed to be that star player. There's been others. Kusta has been unreal in this map. Automatic also looking to lurk him from behind. He spotted out Food. That should be an easy cleanup, and once again that weapon hits the deck. Cooper had a chance there, but in the end it's another fairly clean round for Cloud9. Of course, only one rifle invested in, well, not invested, kept into that round by the CT side, but this is it really. This is their chance to finally do something within their CT half. Of course, this can be the curse of not really getting that good start you want on the CT side and having the finances.
So let's look at the big picture as well, because we can't forget about this. This is technically a loser's match from yesterday. If you lose this, it's different between the two teams. If you're Cloud9, you lose, you play Evil Geniuses tomorrow still. If you're United and you lose, you play Complexity. And there's a little bit of difference in between those two teams. And obviously losing right now might just solidify your spot into relegation. So it's a big match for both these two teams to take this victory. I think there's a lot of pressure on it that we haven't really talked about just of yet. But I guarantee you the players are feeling it.
Yeah, I'd definitely be more scared if I was Cloud9, especially now that two teams have taken EG so close. I feel like we're due a blowout when it comes to that team. I feel like eventually they're going to go, right, all right, you've had your fun, someone's getting spanked. And, you know, I'm a little bit worried for Cloud9 in that sense. But if they can get this victory today, as you said, they're pretty much secured as safe. There isn't a possibility for all four teams to get 2 wins, so already early trade. This time the CT side have actually stepped up. A couple of big plays coming in. Marky once again seems to be leading the charge in that regard. Definitely good to see him back in a North American roster. It's been a bit of a break for him, but definitely a welcomed player to watch. But here we go, Daps in a clutch. 1 versus 4, this would definitely be one to remember if he can manage to pull it off. He's trying to double back around. The problem is there's so many players ready and watching. Might even be worth just keeping the SG. Their money's absolutely fine, so he doesn't really need to worry about it, but I guess he's probably going to look to try and do some damage. Oh, manages to line up 2. Hello, that's a decent start. Now the bomb starts to tick, just trying to use that door to his advantage. Vanity on the defusal, he denies it again, and gets the final frag! Daps wins the 1 versus 4. Absolute filth. And what has just happened? E United have fallen apart.
I've just heard a Jesus, and for good reason. What the hell was that? I don't know which one it is more. Daps playing exceptionally well or United messing up? I feel like it had to have been
Game
both.
Fuel play of the day.
You don't need to vote
we have
anymore.
cancelled the vote because that is it. That is it. Is that one. But we're not even going to bother. We can just put that 4 times within the Twitter poll. Because nothing's going to be better than that. Nothing is going to be better than that. The United, that's it. That's map done. There's no way you come back from that. Absolutely none. It seemed like morale on this team had already been dropped to low. Now, well, that must have hit absolute 0. It's hard to carry on. It's a shame that wasn't in the last round. That would have been a great way to end the map. I don't really know what to say from that point. You can't really... what Daps did was unbelievable. But what United just did was even more unbelievable, because that is a round that you should never be able to lose. You know where he is before he even kills anyone. Freakazoid, Cooper, clearly the brothers are not done. They've managed to get themselves 2 kills. Tens is also dinked. Freakazoid hunting for the FAMAS, which not something I think I've said before. He's actually going to be dinked up. Automaticus won his battle versus Food as well, and a battle I take on a daily basis, but Daps is going to win as well. This is getting ridiculous. This was a 5v3, turn 3v2. Marky and Vanity left on their own. That should be a free kill. That's the bomb drop. There's only 13 seconds left. I didn't even realize the time had gone by. They should be able to get to the site. Vanity just needs to try and deny this plant, and Automatic executes him. A fantastic map coming out of Cloud9. Utterly unbelievable. Daps with the play of the day. No doubt about that.